interested in looking at here
when
we were looking at some of the results earlier is tikkalla. Typically, MultiVersus, a lot of the main events are 2v2s. There are a lot of 1v1s. Tikkalla, when we were looking at results, looks to be a 1v1 specialist. And I think that is very interesting, and I'm wondering what we're going to see come out to play because of that.
Well, the very first thing I want to mention is no platforms. And this is incredibly good for Harley Quinn, and even better for Batman. So I don't disagree with the choice to go here, but similar to what we were saying before with the ceiling instances, Sky Arena does have a much higher ceiling than Trophy's Edge. So you're looking at basically racking up damage, laddering exactly like that, and just finishing up with an up air. We do see that down air coming down. We saw kind of the bat nade come through. We saw some ignition attempts from Harley Quinn, and we're seeing a lot of just neutral airs to try to get that damage on Batman right now. Really spicy start to this top 8.
Usually we tend to see the Harleys running in. They're trying to get those loops going. They're trying to get the combos going. They're being very aggressive. This is the first time we've seen Costy get a strong hit on tikkalla. Tikkalla's willing to just play this. Ooh, wait. Okay.
Yeah,
I'd say Tikkalla's willing to play this very patient. I'm just going to wall you out with projectiles, frustrate you, and then I'm going to go in, which is different than some of the other Harleys we've seen earlier in bracket.
Speaking of Harleys, one of the early Harleys that we saw was Meowmix, who's on winner's side, that will be playing inside of winners finals against FPZ. And I think one of the interesting things about Tikkalla's Harley and Meowmix's Harley is that Meowmix was actively using those platforms to kind of just land cancel and kind of slide off of it, which you as a platform specialist are familiar with inside of a lot of these games. How do you think these platforms are kind of making it easier or harder for Tikkalla?
Ooh, okay. I understand why they're going to a stage without platforms. I don't know if I agree with the Superman because of these more extensions from Harley. But with them both being characters that like to kill off the top, I was thinking we were going to go to a stage with a smaller top blast zone. But going to one with a little bit of a higher ceiling makes sense also because you know what? Sometimes you just want that extra lease on life. I want to live for one more of these.
Yeah, for sure. I also understand why Batman.
That dodge was so important. That would have led to death otherwise.
One thing I do want to harken Tikkalla out for right now is he's doing a fantastic job of dodging when that weaken proc is on him. Because as you know, weaken does increase the amount of damage that you take, makes it a lot easier for Batman to secure a knockout, and makes the game a lot more dangerous for anybody with those stacks on them.
I mean, the status effects that happen in MultiVersus is something that really sets the game apart as well.
Sure.
There's some small ones in other games, but nothing like the weaken or some of the longer armor that's not just on a move, but it embodies into what your character can
do. The knockback, you'll see, even though Harley only took 3% from that battle rank, moved incredibly far, basically on the other side of the stage because of it. So really has to be careful when that bat bomb goes off. You get those weaken stacks, and it's just a dangerous place. Great dodge to prevent
it. I love that. The idea, though, of I'm going to try to get this up special after the bomb. Really smart.
Yeah.
There we go. Almost the opposite of Harley usually tries to hit you up and then use the bomb explosion to send you off the top. Costy's trying to do the opposite of I've got the bomb on you, I'm going to try to hit you out of that.
I disagree a little bit about Tikkalla's opening attacks here immediately after that knockout. Didn't really use invulnerability in an incredibly smart way. Immediately camped on one side of the stage and just started trying to hit down airs. That's not the method. You want to go straight in with Harley and get that damage. You want to rush that Batman down when you have those invulnerabilities.
It was working earlier as a general game plan of the projectile wall, but if you've got invulnerability, you've got invincibility, you've got to use that and push your advantage.
For sure. Is doing a really good job of keeping these ignite procs on Batman, racking up. Oh, goodness. I was worried. I was worried about the ladder there.
I was leaning back in my chair a little bit.
You know, especially with this range, especially with that weekend, you gotta be careful because Costy is going to make sure that cost is your life, all right? The cost is right, the price is brighter, and that is game one in Costy's favor.
There's a reason cost is in the name.
For sure.
We are, if every fighting game is about weighing risk or reward, Costy's got that on lock.
For sure.
So.
You know, looking at that replay right
Never
there,
mind.
just watching the ladder that we saw on one of those first stocks there by Costy, I'm already greatly enjoying this Batman. You know, truthfully,
I've always liked watching some Batman
oh,
play,
okay,
though.
so
It's good.
I
It's
just
good.
want to shout out once again to Ajax, who is not here, but here with us in spirit. We are talking very kindly to your character.
Yes, we are. We are. I am so sorry for not realizing what we were going for earlier.
Now,
I didn't mean it, dude. I didn't mean it.
You know, I don't disagree with the Skyneria pick. I'm hoping that they go back to platforms. It doesn't look like they are. And I think this is just preference for the players.
A lot of Sky Arena this weekend.
Yeah. You know, truthfully, I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see Tikkalla actually counterpick the platforms. Because truthfully, even with Tikkalla's damage that he was able to put onto Costy, it didn't feel like he was able to get as much free motion because there wasn't safe space for him to land onto.
I mean, yeah, sometimes you look at the platforms in terms of, like, where are you able to get those longer extensions? Can you get that ladder going up? But sometimes it's the, I need space to land, and I need to be able to make it so that you have to make a decision instead of just, you got to come to stage, I'm just going to scope it out and keep rinse repeating.
Yeah. Proc that weekend from the passive. Batman's really good about just getting those autumns, getting those weekend stacks off you. And Batarang, I believe, does increase the amount of weekend stacks you have after it is empowered. Good Ignite, sitting there at 53%. Now, this is the range where Harley starts really excelling, right about 50, 60, sometimes even 70%.
The bomb.
Yeah.
Not yet. All right.
Yeah, you got to be careful
really
coming down.
Like that.
Yeah.
Some really tricky Batman movement.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Tries to, burns a lot of resources up there.
So many. You know, I'm worried. I'm worried.
Done.
Yep.
I think you are very right to be worried right now.
It's hard watching this because you see Harley go in, really, really smart moves, gets amazing touches, but isn't able to seal the deal just because has no safe place to recover before Batman can get in there and cover it. Batman has these really, really long normals and really, really long special movements inside of this game, and that makes him a force. Yes. That's actually the very first grappling hook we've seen all day inside of top 8.
Not even just from Costy, but from anybody else.
Inside of top 8 at all, actually, yeah.
I remember when that move was a lot more popular.
Inside of 2s.
Yes,
Inside
exactly.
of 2s with platformers, but 1v1s are a different game. You don't need them as much. That utility is really just situational.
Tries
and look,
to go for the scoop off the top.
This ladder is gross. This Batman ladder, just call him Solid Snake, okay?
Yes.
He's climbing.
And Costy's been going for this every time. He knows his B&Bs. This is like, oh, I've got you stuck. All right, let's get you off the top.
Okay, got those weekend stacks. Waiting for the bat. Yeah.
Get the smoke.
Okay, wasn't quite enough. If he had followed, it would have been there.
It was so close.
Why did he go so late for that spike?
I don't know. I was thinking the same thing.
I'm thinking he's giving a lot of respect to Tikkalla because in that situation, you have to be careful when a Harley is underneath.
I love that. Confirm.
Yeah. Good trade. Good trade. And that's the trade that Costy wanted. You know, I'll take your ring out, you take my ring out. We're both at percentages. I'm at advantage.
Yeah. I am okay going for that back and forth if I already have that stock, that kill lead.
Exactly. And I think Costy's doing a great job at identifying situations where they are at advantage and following up with that momentum, of course.
Gets the smoke on the stage.
Okay. I don't necessarily agree with some of these specials I'm seeing here, but racking up that damage, you can't argue.
No.
You can't argue.
We're at 47. We're at 51.
Good cover. Just
way.
Just scare him. Just scare him. Just scare him off. Yeah.
He's not happy with that.
Tikkalla doesn't feel good about that one.
No.
Not at all. That second round does go over to Costy. It is a first 2, so Costy does move forward. On the loser side, their very next match will actually be Earth to Kenny inside of losers quarterfinals. But alas, we have even more matches inside of here right now.
Alas, you're telling me that it's a bad thing?
Well, I'm telling you it's a bad thing
because
because truthfully, my heart can't take this very next match. This is a match where the loser of the match will be eliminated.